What is up guys, Woo here, back again with another Division 2 build video. Welcome back. Today's build is a legendary beast build that offers survivability, it offers high weapon damage, some really nice pestilence ticks. I'm getting 535k pestilence ticks on this build, which is super good given this is a 6 skill tier build. You've got status effects, survivability, skill damage, nice weapon damage, enough of the jibber jabber. If you enjoyed this video, thumbs doodle, it helps, it really does. If you're new to the channel, drop the woo bomb on the sub button, ding the bell to be notified when I upload my content. Guys, let's woo this. This build can stand its own in legendary missions. A lot of people say assault turret, striker drone, the only way to go for that kind of content. I scratch that and say counter it with this. This is a fun build to use. You have the best of everything on this build. You have some nice combination of survivability for the Kneepads, you're talking skill damage for the 3-piece Empress, and you have two talents that synergize perfectly to give you some status effects. Guys, Technician is the way to go on this because you've got Sawyer's Kneepads, which means it will drag you down a skill tier. Technician grants you 1+ skill tier, so that pulls you back to 6. Also, that 10% skill damage for your skills. Guys, no brainer. Technician is the way to go. Also with this, guys, Pestilence, it works a sweet dream. If you want to use the capacitor, then fine, that's cool. However, you will garner so much more with the Pestilence on this because of the ticks and what it does, how it procs and how it works. Pestilence, guys, best in slot in my opinion for the build. Let's go through this step by step. So 913k armor, 340k health, 6 skill tiers, and 0 offensive, 1 defensive, 5 utility stats. Let's start with the mask. The mask is Empress International, which I feel 3 pieces awesome on this setup. You've got skill health, skill damage, and skill efficiency, breakdown efficiency, and you will get some extra status effects, skill haste, skill repair, skill damage, etc, etc. So make sure you have Empress International 3 piece to get the most out of the skill aspect of the build. With this, skill damage, armor regen, and skill haste. Nice to get skill haste on there to get your skills back a little bit quicker, especially your secondary skill, which for me is the Hive Stinger. Now, it's kind of nice to see a skill build without the waveform. Yeah, kudos, there you go. This is, you can see guys, the holster, which is a high-end holster. It is skill efficiency, of course it is, it's the 3-piece Empress and skill damage and status effects. Nice way to go on the build. I like this. I think it works very nicely, and I don't need waveform on this build. Now the gloves, guys, the gloves, they are the last piece of Empress International. I've opted for skill damage and armor regen, and why? Skill damage I feel is a must. You got to get that skill damage because you need your skills doing some work. They have to put a hard yard in, so make sure you have skill damage. Armor regen, now you have various options. You can go skill haste, status effects, you can go crit chance, crit damage, or you can go headshot damage if you have good aim, or for me, armor regen to keep up that survivability in legendary missions. The Sawyer's Kneepads, and why am I wearing these? Why have I got these awesome sexy Kneepads on? Because guys, because 2 reasons. First reason is the first part of the talent cannot be staggered by explosions. Them feckin' pesky drones that love to spam and more spam, you know they blow you up and they move you out of place and you're just annoyed and frustrated. Yes, I get that, like most of us. So Sawyers, they do help. Then not to mention the second part of the talent, which is increases total weapon damage by 3% each second you are not moving. Stacks up to 10 until you start moving. All stacks lost 10 seconds after moving. That means, guys, yep, stay in cover. Just stay your ass in cover, which you will do in legendary missions anyway. Sit tight, don't move. 10 seconds wait, and that will build up per second by 3% until you get to a max of 30% extra weapon damage. Beautiful. It's nice, isn't it? And that will really put a nice shift in on your Pestilence Plague of the Outcast buff. Now let's take a look at the backpack. And this is a real wonderful, weird and sexy piece. So this is Petrov Defense Group. That's 10% LMG damage. Guys, you know it pays dividends to have this because it just heightens the Pestilence buff. So yeah, have it on there. I changed the weapon damage to a skill tier. I know it's kind of crazy. I feel kind of dirty doing this, but I've done it. I feel good. Skill tier. I have crit chance and headshot damage. You don't have to have that. It's just as it is. You can have skill haste on there. You can have status effects. You can have whatever you damn want on there. That's fine. But as long as you've got skill haste as a utility mod to get your skills back quicker. That's what I've opted for. The crit chance, headshot damage, they help obviously for the damage output. But it is what it is, guys. Don't worry too much. As long as you have a skill tier and you have skill haste, jobs are good, and there you go. Not to mention, you need 5 skill pieces on your build. Creeping Death. When you apply a status effect, it is also applied to all enemies within 8 meters of your target. Now, before someone says, hang about, woo, hang about, this build now is defunct and void because you've got Striker Drone, I've seen it. You've got Hive Stinger, seen it. That means you're not going to get too close to drop the Hive Stinger very often. And the Pestilence Plague of the Outcast buff is not a status effect. So this build is no good. That is where you are wrong. The build is good. Now, Pestilence Plague of the Outcast buff, or that little spread of that little wildfire, now that is not a status effect. So whatever you spec into status effects, it won't buff that whatsoever. What does buff it is your weapon damage. Heighten that as much as you can, you will have a higher tick of damage. Yes, that is correct. Now, once you see the chest piece talent, you'll see, it's not that stupid after all. It is the Wyvern Wear chest piece. That is 10% skill damage. This is a god sausage roll piece for me. And this rolled with weapon damage, funnily enough, and I rolled it back to skill tier. Yes, guys, a skill tier. So, crit chance, 6%. That, again, that helps a little bit. On Pestilence, a little bit more damage, I get it. Skill damage, 10%. Skill haste, 12%, which is max. Loving this so far, but it's the chest piece talent, which is trauma. Applies a blind to an enemy hit in the head. The cooldown is 30 seconds. Applies a bleed to an enemy hit in the chest. The cooldown is 30 seconds. You can apply both of these at different aspects. You don't have to hit one, then you've got to wait 30 seconds for the next one. It doesn't work like that. You can, again, apply these 2 status effects at a time, but then each one has a cooldown. That's awesome. Now, watch this and you'll see why I like this. Okay, let's just reload. The bleed from trauma is kicked in with the fact Creeping Death is on the backpack. Again, if you heighten your status effects, what that will do, that will have that spread longer. Yes, guys, a longer spread of tick. Nice, isn't it? It's nice. And again, that's why I like this. And again, there's the blind. The blind's awesome. You know, in legendary content, when these NPCs are blinded, great. You can pop them with lead. That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. That's why I like trauma. Trauma Creeping Death on a skill build is a treat. This works sweet as a nut. It does. Best way to go. Now, the weapons. Pestilence, guys. It is the peaky Pestilence. We know this works. LMG damage, damage to toxic cover, and damage to armor. Plague of the Outcast. Hits apply a debuff, dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. This stacks up to 50 times. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, all stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. The mods, guys, we know these are fixed. I can't change this. Rate of fire, stability, and accuracy. Now, I don't use the harmony. This is what it is. If I have to use the harmony, I'm using this because of that in-sync damage, which is doubled from 20 to 40. Yes, and that's why I'm using the harmony as a secondary. I use this about 2-3% of the time, if that. Mods, simple, crit chance, rounds, reload speed, crit chance, crit damage. Now, finally, it's the TDI card custom. I do not use this, fellas. I do not use this. It's just here. It's just here. It's just taking up a slot. It's all about the primary weapon for me, not the sidearm at all. So it's irrelevant what your sidearm is on the build. Now, let me just get some ammo. So, what's that? 129 ammo. Let me just stock up on the ammo. I'm going to get back in cover, and I'm going to show you how hard this can hit. So, firstly, let's just go through the skills. So, the first skill is the Stinger Hive. Again, I'm in the range, so I need to disable the skill haste. I can tell you now from previous checking this, it's 2.9 second refill speed on the Hive Stinger. But let's just go and have a look. Still not updated. This has updated. The Striker Drone is 16 seconds. 71k damage pretty much. 16-second cooldown, duration, health, and damage on there as well as mods. It's great. You could go for the assault turret, could do a bit more damage. Maybe, maybe not. It depends. I like Striker Drone. I think it's a great skill to have that gets around the back, flanks NPCs, and a mind of its own, but a really good one. And that's why I like the Striker Drone. The Hive Stinger, and it does have a 2.9 second refill speed, 1.1327 million damage, which is awesome. 8.4 second bleed duration. There's not a lot of status effects in the build. If there were more, you know, that could go up to 10 seconds quite easily. Just depends how you got your pieces rolled out. And with this, damage, stinger charges, and health. Now let's just demonstrate the damage output. Okay, let me just again keep firing. 535k damage. Let's see if we can do that. See trauma kick in with creeping death. $536k ticks. But yeah, once this is rocking and rolling, 536k ticks, and that's because the LMG damage bonus 10%. Then you have your 30% from Sawyers. All this will add up. It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage you're outputting, and that's why I like this build. It offers you so much. Stats, again, there's hardly any crit. There's hardly any crit damage, headshot damage. Again, this is a skill build. There's a little bit of crit chance on it, a little bit, but again, it's irrelevant. 39.1% LMG damage bonus, which is pretty much 40%. That's nice to have, and that's great. All weapons damage bonus 10%. Yeah, nice. Creeping death, trauma. Brilliant. And that's just going to cause chaos within the ranks of these legendary NPCs. There's nearly 10k armor regen. Again, that will just tick over time, which is decent. And again, having that bit of explosive resistance on there as well. And once you're in cover, you will not be affected by explosions. You will not get shifted out of cover or staggered, which is the best way to go. But this is the build. This is what I've been using, guys. This is a great alternative to your traditional cannon fodder, skill damage, assault turret, striker drone build. This is a fun build for any content. It deals so much damage, it's true. It's a great utility build. And let me know what you think in the comments section. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.